Time check, it is some 17 minutes past the hour, or 17 minutes, I beg your pardon, to the top of the hour, 10 a.m. This is still 3FM Sunrise on 3FM 92.7. Well, ladies and gentlemen, get ready for the first Adinkra International Arts and Crafts Show in Ghana, organized by the Ghana Export Promotion Authority, GEPA. Now, this 10-day festival will be a celebration of functional arts and crafts, home decorations, jewelry, and textile, with export forums on the sidelines. Well, it's happening from the 26th of April all the way up until the 5th of May 2024 at the Papaya Recreational Center in Ebring. It starts 10 a.m. each day, so mark your calendars and get ready to immerse yourself in a world of creativity and culture, surrounded by the breathtaking beauty of Ebri. To register as an exhibitor, kindly visit gepafairs.org. That's gepafairs.org, or call 024-470-6112 or 020-955-6525. We'll see you there. We'll switch tactics right about now. You know we like to talk all things health on a Monday. This is the My Health segment, and I've got two special guests in the studio this morning with me. I've got Dr. Yao Edusi Poku. He's the program manager of the National TB Control Ghana Health Service, and also a survivor here. Mr. Richmond Morrison is also in the studio. We're going to be talking about tuberculosis. What are the causes, the symptoms, the diagnosis, and also the control. Gentlemen, good morning to you.
Good morning.
Great to see you.
To your listeners.
Good to see you this morning. Yesterday was, in fact, World Tuberculosis Day. It's marked on the 24th of March each year. And Doc, why is it important for us to at least set a day aside to talk about TB and its causes, diagnosis, all of that?
Yeah, thank you very much. So, we still have the disease with us. 2022, we found 16,500 persons having the disease. 2023, over 19,000. And therefore, there's the need to create awareness. In order to end the disease, we must create the awareness, create advocacy drive. We let people come, we create demand. Once we do that, a lot of people come to the health facility. We take samples, we diagnose, we put you on treatment. It is a disease that has free treatment, that is curable, and therefore we treat everybody. When we do that, we take all our brothers and sisters who are not well from the communities, from the hospitals, and we live very free life, free of TB, and quality life. So that is why we need to advocate. World TB Day is set aside, one, to create awareness, to create advocacy drive, and to create resources, make sure resources are available. Because you see, coming here, we being partners, we need resources.
That's right.
We need resources. Our first line of diagnosis text is the gene expert. We use the gene expert to test for TB.
For TB. Well, then, Doc, let's take it a few steps back then. I think the point that the numbers are rising. So what, almost 3,000 plus persons added on the next year to the TB list is not something that we can even relax about at all. So for the uninitiated, when you hear TB, tuberculosis, what exactly are we talking about?
Tuberculosis is a germ. It's a bacterium that lives with people. So somebody has the disease. We have the infection and we have the disease. A lot of people have the infection, but they are fine. So we say they are in latency.
Okay.
But one day they will break down. Unfortunately, if they break down, meaning they start expressing symptoms. That is when they also infect others. So clearly, when they cough, or when they shout, or when they sneeze, it's in the air. It goes into the air. You being close will breathe this organism, and they enter. The first point of call is your lungs.
So it's a contagious disease.
Airborne.
Airborne.
Airborne that gets into you. When your body soldiers are strong, they capture these germs. Some can take 10 years, some can take 5 years, some can take 2 years and some months, depending on your body soldiers.
Okay.
Some will leak into your blood and they go everywhere. They can go to the brain. We have meningitis, which is very common with children. And then those who have lost immunity, they go to your liver, your kidneys. Some go to your ovaries for women.
This is frightening,
it can cause
Doc.
Infertility, yes. Some go to the testicles.
This is all tuberculosis.
It's all tuberculosis. So tuberculosis can cause infertility, can cause men as well, infertility in men. So clearly, it's a disease that is curable, and yet, if you are not careful, it takes you to the ground, to the 6 feet. But then we can treat this disease. It has a beginning date of treatment and it has an end date of treatment. It's all that we need to do. People must hear.
That's right.
They must know the symptoms. What are the symptoms?
Let's talk about that.
Fever. The fever can be low grade.
Okay.
Cough. Sometimes when they produce the sputum, you see streaks of blood in it. Chest pain. They kind of easily get tired when they do some manual activities. When they walk with it, they say, I feel tired. When they sleep, they are drenched with sweat.
What we call like the night sweats.
Exactly. Exactly. These are pointers. It is not every cough that goes to the pharmacy. Okay, because some coughs are beyond coughs. Let me use the word loosely.
Okay.
That we must pick the samples and test.
Well, Richmond is here, as I mentioned, also with us. He is a tuberculosis survivor. Richmond, of the symptoms that Doc has highlighted, at the time that you were going through this, what were some of the symptoms that you had specifically?
Thank you, madam, for the question. I think what Doc said was, it's necessary. I really passed through all that.
So you had all those kinds of symptoms. You were coughing?
Yeah.
You had
Night
fever,
sweats,
night sweats.
fever.
Okay.
And a lot of what he said. But there is this myth I want to clear in the air.
Okay.
Because previously, we didn't have any education on TB by then. So.
And how long ago was this?
Let's say 10 years ago.
Okay.
By then, how the education on TB has been consistently previous years. By then, it wasn't that.
Okay.
So the idea was down. So there's this TB that we used to call it Samanwa.
In Samanwa.
Previously, that was how.
What is it? Ghost cough?
Yes.
Okay.
Cough from the ghost.
Cough from the ghost.
Yeah, or from the dead. So when it happens that way, people might think it's a spiritual disease.
I see.
That's the reason why they moved to prayer camps for health, because they might thought it's spiritual disease. But as time goes on, we realize that no, it's not a spiritual disease. As soon as it appears physically, it means there is something that needs to be done, or there's something can be done about it. So as day in, day out, doctors improve on sicknesses so that they can find solution to that. It's there that we came about that we can have solution to it. That's when you start to cough, begin to know or see that kind of symptoms in your body. You move closer to hospital for lab tests, as our doc said, the gene expert.
Okay.
So as soon as the lab is done and you are found positive, there are these medicines that you take. It is a joint medicine, rifampicin, ethambutol, pyrazinamide, then isoniazid combined for your health, so that when you take in, you'll be strong. But before I'll be taken to the hospital,
You went through a lot.
Yeah. I was taken to prayer camps, a lot of places, because that was what my parents was thinking or thought it would be. But after visiting the hospital, we realized no, it's not.
It's something else. Doc, is that something that you hear often? That, you know, this in Samanwa, people maybe seek herbal remedies, and it's not even just for TB. You know, we have that penchant that if something is wrong, our first point of contact is not the doctor or our local, health facility. Very quickly, we're looking for the herbal remedies. Is that something that is causing a barrier to proper TB care?
Yes, my dear, and it's common. I mean, in the society in which we live, it's about everything is spiritual. So the first thing is, who is doing this to me? Mm-hmm. The demonic paradigm. We call it demonic paradigm, where maybe I have sinned, maybe my ancestors have done something wrong, and so clearly where they want to go first is to go and then pacify the gods so it's common.
Okay.
We see a lot of cases in prayer camps where they are there, they are coughing.
And in fact, even spreading it further.
Yes. And people, it's a disease of stigma.
Okay.
So people want, like he said, in Samawa, we don't want, in Samawa means that when you are struck by the disease, you become lean and you go lean and lean and lean. In Samawa means that it's transmissible. Mm-hmm. Okay, so the name itself connotes stigma.
Okay.
You look like a ghost. So, and it's a disease that happens if you don't treat. You become lean and lean and lean. Loss of weight is one of the things.
Because does it affect the appetite?
Exactly.
Okay.
I mean, you have fever.
I mean, which one is nodding? So your appetite was gone at that point when you were.
You can't eat.
You can't eat. Okay.
Yeah, and you're also transmitting. Mm-hmm. You have your those who you are intimate with. Uh-huh. You sleep in the same room. Maybe some of them, like kids, as old as 6 weeks, are having TB. Why? Because a caregiver has the TB and transmitted to the child.
Okay.
So they are living on the same bed. They cough on these children, and so we are having children also having TB. But the catch is, people must hear about the symptoms.
Okay.
And it's treatable. That is the catch.
Let's talk about the treatment and the solutions. And time check, it is some 4 minutes to the top of the hour, 10 a.m. 4 minutes until we're bidding you farewell. And we're talking understanding tuberculosis, the causes, symptoms, diagnosis, and control. Doc has kindly told us about some of the symptoms, as Richmond has also elaborated on for us: the night sweats, the coughing, the fever, the fatigue, loss of appetite, and so on and so forth. We're now getting into the cure.
Yeah, so it's curable, as my brother indicated. If it is the bacteria are susceptible, we have the resistant ones.
I see.
And then we have the susceptible ones. Mm-hmm. The susceptible ones go for 6 months treatment.
6 months treatment.
6 months treatment. 2 months, very intensive. Okay. And then the resistant ones go between 6 to 8 months.
Okay.
So clearly, it's curable. We first counsel you, and my brother belongs to the population because they've had TB before. They are able to counsel very well because they were once in the same boat as those who have had the infection. So we counsel you to take your medications. We ask you to bring a treatment supporter, somebody that you trust. Some of them will say, look, for me, it's the village catechist that I trust.
Okay.
Some of them will say, look, it's my aunt or it's my brother I trust. And they come. We have what we call the directly observed therapy, where we observe you to be taking the medications. If you are resistant, because you are very poor, Global Fund has given us some supportive measures like out-of-pocket expenses for you, and we give you some therapeutic food to eat. Okay, So it kind of make it easy. We also have free national health insurance for TB patients.
Okay.
To make life easy. But the bottom line is that it is curable. Okay. Even though we need more resources. Resources, as I said, we have 201 gene experts. We have 261 districts. So it's not everywhere. So we transport samples from where we don't have the gene experts to where we do have the gene experts. So clearly it's curable, so there's hope.
And that is the good news this morning. If you're listening to us and you have any of these symptoms and maybe you are making your way to one herbalist or one particular prayer camp, I hope you're hearing us loud and clear. Doc is here, Richmond is here, and Richmond is here to tell us the tale. I can see him, he looks alive. I'm seeing him with my two eyes, healthy and reflecting on what happened. We don't have too much time to go, a minute or so, Richmond, so just speak to the people who are listening this morning who might be experiencing some symptoms or they are worried. They know in their heart of heart that they should go to the hospital and check. Speak to them for me, please.
For time is not on our side, so I'll briefly say something. For those who are listening to us this morning, I think these symptoms or this disease, it's a bacteria called Mycobacterium tuberculosis. And everything spiritually is done spiritually. And everything physically is done physically. And this sickness is not a spiritual sickness. It's sickness that can be treated. So if maybe you are suffering from it and you are at the prayer camp or you are at the fetish priest waiting for confirmation, then you might die there without anything, because no amount of prayer can save you from this sickness. If an amount of prayer can save you, like I wouldn't have taken the medicine for that much long, because things was mixed for me to drink. That at the end of the day, maybe solution will come out perfectly. But at the end of the day in, day out, the sickness keeps going up.
Right.
Up.
So, Richmond, you're advising us that what happens in the physical realm, let's deal with it physically. And by all means, if you're a person of faith, you can add the prayer to it to amplify the medication you're taking. But don't wait and don't waste time. Richmond, thank you for that advice. And Doc, finally as well, for you, 30 seconds, wrap this up for us.
Yes, so TB has a medical component and a social component. Therefore, we need all hands on. We need a politicians, political commitment, the seat of government to provide us with the gene experts and the cartridges and all that. Now, politics in the constituencies, we need the MPs to talk about it in the constituencies. We need the chief executive officers to talk about it. When they do so, they create demand. A lot of people come with the symptoms, and then we screen them, we diagnose them, we treat them, and it's free. Thank you.
Fantastic. Thank you so much for your time, gentlemen. We've been speaking with Dr. Yao Edusi Poku, Program Manager, National TB Control, Ghana Health Service, and also Richmond Morrison, TB survivor. Gentlemen, thank you so much for your time this morning. I hope this won't be our last interaction. This is a message that needs to get far and wide to all of the people. So at least we've started here today. Make sure that if you're feeling any symptoms at all, see your healthcare provider. Don't leave it too late. Don't drink all manner of concoctions and make your symptoms even worse. But time check, it is some 2 minutes past the hour of 10. We're saying goodbye to you all. Thank you so much for deciding to start your morning with us. We're back again bright and early tomorrow. This has been 3FM Sunrise on 3FM 92.7.